Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at how to play Pokemon Gym Leader Challenge online in your web browser. So to do it, we have two websites. We've got PvP Tabletop and we've got Cardboard Warriors. Now we need to use both of these websites in tandem to be able to play, but it's actually pretty simple once we get to it. So the actual games will be played on PvP Tabletop, but we use Cardboard Warriors in order to create and import deck lists that we can then use on the PvP table site. So what you want to do is have both tabs open, again link in the description below. But we're going to start by looking at the Cardboard Warriors site. So this site basically is a deck list building / news hub for Gym Leader Challenge. If we take a look, there's a card database. You can look at a bunch of different decks that people have built in the Gym Leader Challenge community. There's thousands of decks that people have made, and so you can actually use any one of these to play on PvP Tabletop. But what you want to do is create your own account on this website so that you can create and save your own deck lists, so that you are not just playing with decks that people have made previously. So I have my own account here. So once you've created an account, let me show you how this works. So you can save your decks, so I can play any of these decks that I've saved before. But what you want to do is go to the deck builder here, and you can search for any card that you want. Let's say we want to search for Lusamine. So there'll be a bunch of different versions of it. You just click on it, and now if you scroll down, you have one card imported into your 60 card deck list. So you can then continue to round out your deck, give it a name, give it a description, and then you can save it, and you'll be on your way to playing the game. That being said, this can take a little bit of time. So what I find is a little bit of a faster shortcut is to take a deck that is similar to something that you already play. Since there are so many decks that exist, it's almost inevitable that someone's already tried something that you want to do. So let's say we take something kind of niche like Watermill. So we can just search it up, and the site, give it some time. There you go, spelled Watermill. So we can search up Watermill, and you'll find some decks that people have already created. So essentially what you can do here is hit export, which is a copy paste function. So if you hit that export button, it takes this list and it copies it to your clipboard. So if we go into the decks again, and we go into the deck builder, if I hit import and then hit paste, it will paste in that list that somebody had already created. And from here, you can then make some revisions so that you're not spending all of this time basically importing every single card one by one. So you can take a look at this and see how it differs from something that you might want to play. Now, we can also take a look at this and say that I should say that this is an incomplete list. And also I'm going to change maybe, you can change like the art styling of some of these cards as well. So let's say I want to add Frostmoth. So we can add this one, and we want to add Inteleon. If I can spell, I can't spell any of these cards. So we want to add Shady Dealings Inteleon. Oh yes, okay. So this is also missing a Drizzile. So we had Shady Dealings Drizzile. Now we're 3 cards short, so maybe we'll add something like we'll add Zoroastic's Machinations, maybe like Delinquent. Is that in the deck? And maybe something like Parallel City. Okay, so I've made my tweaks and I've added in some cards. Now what you want to do here again is name it. So this is Wugtrio Mill. You want to give it a type. So this is a water type deck. Give it a description if you want. So now I just hit save, right? And so now this is going to be saved onto my account. If I go to my deck profile, Wugtrio Mill, there it is. I can access and use it whenever I want. So now we get into PvP Tabletop. So what you want to do, actually start with this. So in order to play with somebody, you can see there's this room function here, right? So what you want to do is create room. So once you've created this room here, you have this room ID, which you can then send to your friend. And then once they enter it in there, they'll be able to join this chat room here and be able to play with you. So actually, if we duplicate this, I think we can, it's actually possible to do this against ourselves. So I'm going to create this room ID again. And then in the second link here, I'll paste it and I'll join the room. So now if I go, hey, I should be able to see that. There you go, in the other chat. So now we've got our room set up. We'll go back to Cardboard Warriors here. We'll hit export again to copy this to our clipboard, and then paste, import deck, and boom, we've got our deck imported, and now we're able to play. So in order to control the deck, you basically have to do all the actions yourself, but it's pretty easy once you kind of get the flow of it. So let's say that we want to play. So we just hit this button, flip coin, and it does this like randomly generated coin flip. So you and the person you're playing with can figure that out. Then you hit setup, and it generates. So it looks like I took 2 mulligans before I was able to set up, right? But then it generates a thing. So if you want to put something into the active spot, you just drag it into the active area. So you can see this is the bench, this is the active, and boom, there it is. Now if you want to hide the card, you can actually hit Z, and it will hide the card from your opponent. If you want to look at the card in more detail, you just double click it, and it will zoom in so that you can read the text. And then you just click away to close it. Now let's say it's your first turn and you want to draw. So just hover over to the deck, and you can click on this, and it pulls up a drop list of commands. So for example, you can shuffle, you can draw. So I want to draw. And also note on the left-hand side, there's some hotkeys. So the game becomes a lot faster when you learn how to play with these hotkeys. So you can hit 1, or you can just click on draw. So if I do that, I draw a card. So let's play this turn. So let's say we've got the stadium. I just put it here. Now there's the stadium in play. Again, everything is done manually, so you need to communicate with your opponent that you've got the stadium in play. I mean, they'll be able to see it, but I mean, communicate what you're doing. So let's say I want to play a nest ball. So to do this, we have to manually move it into the discard, and then we go to our deck, hit view all, and now it'll show you the entire deck, and you can find what you want to use the nest ball for. So we want to get our Sobble here. So then you can just right click the card again, and it will have a series of prompts. You can move it to your hand to discard. So I just hit the button H, that sent it to my hand, and then we click away, drag it to put it onto the bench, and we'll be sort of set up there. Now let's say that we, again, want to do another card. So Irida. So I can, instead of pulling up the view all tab or thing on the list here, you can also hit V, right? And that will allow you to pull up, again, your deck. So I've played Irida, allowing me to search for an item and a Pokemon. So I think we want to grab something like Wiglet. So again, I can right click, and it's always best to put it to hand rather than to bench. If you send it to bench, it can sometimes cause some weird glitches. Also, do what the card says for the most part as well. That's probably important. So let's say we just grab something like Air Balloon here. Right? Or sorry, not Air Balloon, Evolution Incense. So then I'm going to drag this Wiglet to the bench, and then we'll pass. So for the next turn, again, we can draw, so on and so forth. Let's say I want to get rid of my Glimwood Tangle Stadium for Parallel City. So what I have to do is take it, drag it in the trash, grab this Parallel City, pull it up to the front. Again, if I want to look at the card, just double click it, and you can be able to read it pretty easily. Now let's say that we take a knockout, we want to grab a prize card. So all we have to do is take one, grab it, move it into your prizes. Or again, if you want to manipulate the prizes, you can shuffle, you can show them, inspect, right? So that's actually probably a little better, so that you don't show your opponent exactly what's going on. And then we hide them to put them away. So let's maybe talk about energy attachments. So I'm just going to go into the deck, grab a bunch of energies here. And also, I think while we're at it, I'll also show you how maybe interacting with the discard works. So let's say we've got some energy. So to attach energy, very simple, just drag it, place it on, right? And then when you want to attack, right, you just announce to your opponent that you're going to attack. So there's no fancy button to hit and attack to somebody. You have to announce it. And let's say that they attack you. So if you're damaged, you got to set damage, right? So I can set that I've received 20 damage. And then if that changes, then you can modify it, right? Or let's say that we play something like Drizzile, Shady Dealings. So they have this button here, Toggle Marker. And this is, Toggle Marker, or U, is just a handy way to, there you go, is a handy way to help you to know whether you've used your ability or not. So again, the ability, there's no automated thing. You have to go into the deck, or you have to perform the ability yourself. So again, this is allowing me to search for a trainer card. So then I do that. So I find this Capacious Bucket, send it to my hand, right? And then if I want to play it, then we go back into the deck. You can hit V again. So I found this energy here, hit H to send it to your hand. There's no other energies, so yeah, that's fine. And that's basically how it all works. Well, actually, yeah, so one last thing, actually. So let's say we play Night Stretcher. So a basic energy from our discard pile into our hand. So I'm just going to play that, and then we can go into the discard. Again, you view the whole thing, right? Now let's say that we have, I'm going to put an energy in there so that we can actually use this. So we're going to view our discard. And so to send this to hand, it's just like when we send it to the deck, right? We hit H, goes back in the hand. And then we can put it wherever we want. Now, if we want to retreat, that maybe is actually something we should talk about as well. So just drag this Pokemon off to the side or into the bench area, pull this into the active. Pretty simple. If something like a glitch that can sometimes happen is you can like accidentally drag your Pokemon. Let's see. Oh yeah. Maybe they fixed it actually. So something that used to happen is that you would be able to like drag your Pokemon on top of each other, and they would treat the Pokemon like they're an energy. So it seems like they've made some slight improvements with that, which is nice. So yeah, you just drag your Pokemon into the places that they need to be, and you're good to go. So that's essentially it. Again, you've got PvP Tabletop, and you've got Cardboard Warriors. Use these two sites to try and play Gym Leader Challenge online. Use Cardboard Warriors to build your deck. Use PvP Tabletop to actually play. If you want to change your deck too, or try a different deck, again, it's really simple. Just either build your own list, or you can click on list like this. I want to export this one. And let's import a new deck. So sometimes a card isn't found, that they've like used a weird art or something like that, so you can tweak that as well. So I've just reset set up. Now I'm playing a lightning deck in the middle of this random game here. Oh, I guess that's actually on the other side. But anyways, I hope that kind of makes sense. I hope that helps you all to play Gym Leader Challenge online. I'll see you guys later. Good luck and enjoy the games.